This is Tim Cannon. I'm the presiding judge of the 11th District Court of Appeals. Our court serves the 5 counties in Northeast Ohio, so Lake County, Ashtabula, Trumbull, Geauga, and Portage counties. I've been a judge on the court for 13 years. Prior to that, I practiced law in Northeast Ohio for 27 years, primarily in Lake County. My office was in Lake County. The Court of Appeals is a court that's not known to too many voters. There's certainly not much first-hand knowledge because we deal at the Court of Appeals primarily with attorneys. Now, it is, however, one of the most important levels of court in our state. The trial courts and the trial judges that many of you are probably familiar with, they take care of litigation at the trial stage, and everyone in the state of Ohio has a right to appeal their case one time, and that comes before the Court of Appeals. We are often the last word on any case that gets appealed. Some cases get appealed to the Supreme Court, but the Supreme Court doesn't take every case. In fact, they take very few. Something like 5% of the cases that are appealed to them, they actually consider. So it's an important court, one that is very important to have judges with experience. It's a court where maybe a voter wouldn't necessarily understand or appreciate who is a good judge or a bad judge. I believe it's very important for the voter to consider and pay attention to the local bar association judicial polls that are conducted. In Lake County, they have already conducted their judicial poll for this year, and I've been highly recommended by the Lake County Bar Association. I believe I got the highest percentage of any judge or judicial candidate that was up for consideration in that poll. And the thing that's important about it is the attorneys don't conduct those polls for the attorneys. The attorneys don't conduct those polls for the judges. The attorneys conduct those polls so that the voters know who the attorneys believe is doing a good job. In fact, I was somewhat humbled 6 years ago when the last time I ran, I was the first judge. They've been doing that poll in Lake County for over 40 years. And I was the first judge in the history of that poll to get a 100% affirmative vote. I'm very proud of that. Now in Trumbull County, they did their judicial poll this year, and they do it a little different. In Trumbull County, it's a preference poll. They ask who do you prefer, either myself or my opponent. And in Trumbull County, the thing about them is they only know me pretty much as a judge. I've been a judge. Our home base for the 11th District Court of Appeal is in Warren. It's in Trumbull County. And I was, again, very humbled by the result of that poll. The result was a preference of 101 for me versus 19 for my opponent. And again, I think that's the attorneys letting you know who they think does a good job. And you have to understand, with that many attorneys, you know, there are Democratic attorneys and Republican attorneys and conservative attorneys and liberal attorneys voting because of my track record, and I'm just very proud of that. My election this year is a bit odd because my opponent is a fellow named Matt Lynch. Matt Lynch is a judge on our court, and Matt Lynch will be a judge on our court after this election. He basically can't lose. He's running for my seat, which would, if he was elected to my seat, give him an extra 2 years on his retirement. He's too old to run for his own seat again. He's been on our court for less than 2 years, and I believe my experience and my track record has earned me the right to serve what will be my final term for the next 6 years. I'm pretty proud of some of the accomplishments I've made over the years. I've been appointed numerous times to sit as an associate justice on the Ohio Supreme Court. There's 68 appellate judges in the state of Ohio, I believe I'm the only appellate judge that has been appointed by 3 different chief justices to serve in that capacity, 2 Republican chief justices and 1 Democratic chief justice. And I also was appointed in 2011 by Chief Justice O'Connor. They wanted to do a case management study to look at the rules under which courts operate for the disposition of their cases. There are certain time guidelines every level of court has for disposition of their case. So they created a case management advisory committee to the Supreme Court. It had about 22 members, judges from all over the state, and Chief Justice O'Connor selected me to chair that advisory committee for the first 4 years of its existence. And I was very proud of that. Since 2010, they have, the Supreme Court requires new judges to attend a new judge orientation. It's 2 weeks, 1 week right after the election, another week after you had taken office and been in office for a few months. And I think every year since 2011, they've requested me to come down and help lecture and train the newly elected appellate judges. I haven't been able to make it every year, but every year I'm able to. I go down and I help the Supreme Court with the training of the new appellate judges. Many other people have asked questions about how they can contact me and how contact the campaign and help out. We have a website that's www.reelectjudgecannon.com, and there's a Facebook page for ReElect Timothy Cannon, I think is the Facebook page for the election. If you want to go there and share our posts and communicate with your friends on Facebook about this campaign, it would be very, very much appreciated. Thank you very much. I would appreciate your support and appreciate your vote.